Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome to Stream of Card Consciousness. I am Mark Ford, and as always, joined by my friend, my brother up in the Panhandle, Florida, Greg Smith. How you doing today, Greg?
I'm great, Mark. I'm great. I'm marveling at your hat and your Judas Priest shirt, man.
Yeah,
I love it. So
repping,
is that
repping DC, and now that my daughter lives up there, I've become kind of a fan of the Nationals. So,
well,
and of
yeah, they
course,
got
Priest.
some good young talent in Priest. Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they helped power me through my end of my college when I finished up that last degree, the master's. Yeah, the last 2 months exclusively was Judas Priest. Judas Priest. They got me
what's
through.
your favorite Judas Priest song, man?
Um,
You got to
I
pick one.
like some deeper cuts. I mean, I love this. Desert Plains is a great song.
Okay,
That's on head. That's Point of Entry album.
right.
And I love one of my favorite Priest albums is Angel of Retribution, the comeback album with Rob Halford. I think it's from like 2008 or something like that. So I mean,
Oh
that thing
wow,
rips, man.
does it?
Angel of Retribution is a great album, so I love that. So otherwise, it's all good. I just,
Yeah,
I've seen them a bunch of
I'll,
times, and
I'll be the first to admit I'm not a big deep cut Judas Priest fan.
mm.
But of the ones that everybody knows, man, you got another thing coming is a great song. I love that song.
Oh,
That's
absolutely,
yeah. So
Breaking the
I love the
Law,
shirt. What's that?
Breaking
Breaking
the
the law.
Law,
Yep.
yeah.
Living after
Living
midnight.
After Midnight, absolutely. Yeah.
Those are
I mean,
pretty
for
funny.
me, it's crazy we're talking about Judas Priest on the card show. Screaming for Vengeance is perfection. I mean, that
Yeah.
album, Screaming for Vengeance album, and I listened to that a lot, finishing up my college from start to finish. That album, the production is sensational. It holds up, the songs, everything. I mean, Screaming for Vengeance is to me like in my top five albums of all time. Even though I may, 'cause Angel Retribution is like heavy, man. So, um,
Yeah.
that's why I like that. But just for overall, yeah, Screaming for Vengeance is something else.
Right on. Well, we recommend Screaming for Vengeance, y'all. So
All
if you're a
right,
priest
Screaming for
fan.
Vengeance and Angel Retribution. Judas
All
Priest
right.
moment. Brought to you by Mark.
Do you want to get into your what you got to show us this week for cards of
Yeah,
the week?
definitely. We'll talk
All
about some
right.
cardboard that people want to hear, not about my heavy metal taste.
Right.
Yeah, last show I forgot to mention. When I was up in Buffalo, I uh, I picked up a couple cards and a single holder. You watch the show, you know me, you know I'm a big fan of the Negro Leagues and basically that whole time frame. And I'm in this shop in the old McKinley Mall in Orchard Park, New York, and it's pretty much deserted now, and just a few shops and stuff in there. And there's Grandma's Attic or something like that's the name of the place. And I see Buck Leonard and Judy Johnson auto for
Yeah.
sale. All right. So again, if you watch the show and you know me, I'm a big fan of the waffle stomp, and I pulled off the sextuplet. People waffled on the price of something, made six offers, and I come in and claim it. So I'm looking at this, and it's Buck Leonard, Judy Johnson, amazing, and the price was ridiculous. Again, I'm always full disclosure on the show, $15, right?
Yeah.
So where are you gonna get that for $15? So regardless. So I go out. I said, and the reason I did is because I'm gonna put a picture of the card in the should be hard to see. I don't like that Judy Johnson. They make him look cartoonish, and
Yeah.
I have a problem with we
So
make
it's
our
not an actual picture.
no, it's like a drawing. And
Gotcha.
if you look at this set of baseball immortals, every single African American player, it's bizarre. The
Yeah.
pictures, it's disturbing actually to
Kind of
me.
like that bobblehead you had a while back.
This is kind of like the bobblehead. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want that. This shit card, making him look
Right.
like a clown. This is bullshit. Out the store I went. So I get down the hallway a little bit. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You're waffling. Regardless of the card, where are you going to get a Buck Leonard and a Judy Johnson signature? And obviously, this is probably from like in the 80s sometime because the handwriting's strong and they both have beautiful signatures. And it's not shaky. So get your ass back in there and get those cards. So I went back in and I got him $15, and I'm glad to have it. And I'm not a fan of the screw down holder and all that stuff, but whatever. And that sits on the wall behind me. And
Right on. Why
yeah,
don't you liberate it? First of all, liberate it from that holder.
yeah,
Second of all, send it off and get it like coffins, forever
authenticated.
coffin,
Yeah,
you know?
probably. I probably will. Um,
someday.
and then the
But
other
that's
thing
good.
was, yeah, well, I was up in Buffalo. It's another good
Yeah.
story. Um, So I was going through a bunch of stuff. You know, my dad moved out of his apartment. He's in another place. But and I told my sister that I don't want anything, you know, and then they ended up filling up the back of my truck with a bunch of stuff that some of it may
I
or
don't
may
want
not.
anything to a full back end of your truck, right?
Right. Yeah. So my truck is full. I drove up to New York a couple weeks ago. No, nobody listens to me in my family, regardless, other than Dr. Ford and my kids, and they're great.
Right.
But the rest of them, I might as well just be the fucking mud, you know? So, anyways, so not my dad, you know, my dad is like my best friend in the whole world. And
Right.
obviously, I go back to Buffalo 5, 6 times a year. So, when I was a little kid, I wanted to watch. I was talking 75, 1976, 70. We just had moved out to the country. I was like 7 years old. I wanted to watch. My dad, you know, my hero,
Oh
right?
man. Well, hold on. I'm going to interrupt you there. I wanted to watch real bad too. That was
All
like a
right.
big deal for some reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We're the same, similar age time
Watch.
frame. So all I wanted was a watch. Now my dad's like, you're too young, you're too little, you're gonna take care of it. I've always learned so much from my dad that I've transferred into life. So I want to watch, but I'm not gonna pester my dad. You know, I want to watch, I want to watch, I want to watch, I want to watch. So I asked my dad about every 10 minutes what time it was. Hey, Dad, what time is it? My dad's the watch guy. Dad, what time is it? Dad, what time is it, Dad? For about a week of asking my dad nonstop and repetitively, you know, I'm sure some of us can relate to this story with cards or anything that you want in life, right? This was a watch. So I'm going through all this stuff, and there's the
That's your
watch.
first. That's your first watch.
Yeah, it's a Timex, you know, wind no
Is it
battery.
still running?
Yep.
It's still
Look it up.
running.
Yeah.
Takes the
So
licking
this
and
was the
keeps on
watch.
ticking,
So
man.
the band had broke. I was like 8 or 9, I think, and I had it. You know, and the band broke, and I gave it to Dad to give me another band, and then whatever. I think actually I got another watch or something, but it doesn't matter. And I
Yeah.
just had never gave it a thought. But the story, my dad loves to tell that story. He still tells it to this day. He's like 91 years old, really sharp, you know, doing good. God bless my dad. So he always tells a story about how I got the watch. I asked him what time it was every freaking 5 minutes. And so this was in a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I don't want this stuff out there. What am I doing? Nobody listens to me. Nobody pays attention. So this was like a found bonus. This was the watch. You know,
Nice.
that's my dad every 5 minutes what time it was, a Timex. So this is, you know, pretty cool. And it's ticking. It
That's
doesn't,
very cool. I
it
think it's cool.
loses.
Two things
Yeah.
about that are cool to me, man. The memory and that it still works.
Yeah.
You
So I
know?
got a band coming for it, and I'm gonna wear it. It loses about 5 minutes every 24 hours, but whatever. Who
Is
cares?
it really? Oh,
Yeah.
well, all right. Then
But
it
it
kind of still
works.
works.
It works, you know, and it doesn't need a battery. And you know, it's nice. And it'll be a good story in my classroom, room 6, because my dad is a big thread in there.
Yeah.
Tell a lot of Mr. Ford, seeing my dad, you know, stories in there and the lessons that I learned from my dad. And that's one of them, you know. And I've told the story about the watch in my room about, you know, I really wanted it, so I didn't, you know, I got creative. So
Yeah.
that's my card and
Well,
my watch of the week.
and kids, if there's any kids that ever watch this, that's a subtle hint on how to get what you want. Like, Mark had his Red Ryder BB gun that he wanted, and
It'll
boy, he
shoot
left.
your eye out, right?
Yeah, he left hints everywhere, basically every 10 minutes. So that's
Yeah.
smart, man. So now you did some shopping too. Are you want to get in that this show, or do you want to go through that next time where you went and got some more boxes? Do you
Oh,
want
we'll see how much time. If not, we can
to?
stretch it
Okay.
out. I might go get some
Oh,
more today. So,
okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I thought a little bit some this week about what I wanted to show, and it was just kind of like a hodgepodge of some PC slabs that I have that I don't really look at a whole lot, and kind of maybe a little bit of a brief, opinion or story about it. So this one here, so I've got like 11 slabs maybe, and I'll just go through them one by one real quick. So this one here is a SGC4 Roberto Clemente. Now, we've had our talks about Clemente, and I mean, it looks pretty centered, and this is such a haunting photo, and for it to be in that black, it's just it just hits you so much more in the black tux than it does anywhere else. Um, his last his last card and just the pose there. It's just almost like foreshadowing. It's kind of eerie, really. But that's always been a great card. Now this one here, I've got two Bob Griese that I want to go through. This one here is a 2012 Topps Football Immortals Bob Griese. So it's just a throwing in a pack, but it's a 10. I got that for I think like $20, a PSA 10. So I mean that's hard to beat. Now this the other Griese, oh boy. The other Griese that I have, I got for $75, and it's the, his rookie card. So that's one that I don't really look at that much, but it's always going to be in the PC. So 5.5 on that.
Sure.
And then, my first ever PSA 10 that I ever owned was a 2004 Topps Gold Ellis Burks for some reason. Right. So that was my first ever PSA 10. I don't even remember when I got that, probably 2021 sometime. Ken Griffey Jr. So Folly of Man. And people collect these pretty hard, the rainbows for Ken Griffey Jr. So that's a PSA 4. So I've got a 4. So if anybody needs a 4, I'm your guy because I don't really want it. And from what I understand, the lower grades get some pretty good money. So I don't really get it. But and then a 5.5
Folly of Man. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, Folly Man. So there you go. Two of those. A guy I think y'all might be sleeping on for the Hall of Fame here soon. A PSA 4 Tommy John. So that's something I think he's going to make it. And even if it's in 5 or 10 years, that if you find some cheap Tommy John rookies, I'd buy them. I think you got this for me.
Yeah, I got that.
Paul Warfield.
In
at a show, right?
Yeah, remember that in like yesterday. Yeah, I got that in Lakeland.
Yeah, PSA 4 Paul Warfield. That's I mean, he was a little before my time when I can really remember being a Dolphins fan, but stories are he was just amazing. So Paul Warfield. And then OPG, Wade Boggs, that's a PSA 8. And so that, OPG, when I was a kid, OPG were kind of thought of as kind of like junk. People didn't really want them. Same with Nestle in '84, believe it or not. We didn't want them. So I don't know. But now OPGs, I love OPGs. This one here is one of my favorites. I wish it was in a tux, but you got a PSA 9 Eric Davis. Just the colors, that whole set, we talked about that plenty. It's just a beautiful set.
I love it. So that's beautiful. That Dawson card is one of my favorite cards because it's got the specters and behind them with the picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful set.
And then the last three, it's like that Garvey card. Is that 74 Garvey where all the people look like ghosts and behind them?
Yeah,
that's how the Dawson card looks in 85 Donruss. It's like all ghostly. It's really awesome.
Right. There's a couple in 84 Donruss too that are like that. Ozzie Smith is like that, and Ryan Sandberg actually is like that. It's I don't know how they did that photography process, but it's very cool. So
I'll have to ask Shasta how they do it.
Yeah, because I'd be interested to know that. Yeah. All right, this one here, I just think is a cool card, man. Minnie Minoso, the 53 Topps. It's a PSA 2, but just the paintings, man. Look how tough he looks.
Yeah,
he's ready to rock and roll. So I like that card. And then last two, this one here I got a long time ago, probably almost 5 years ago. It's a SGC2 Willie Mays, and I don't know how that's a 2 because I mean it's a nice card. The centering's good.
The mystery grading again, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Buy the dark arts. The dark arts of grading.
Right. Well, and I mean, we could talk about that too, Mark. Just the consistency in the process seems to really have become more of a mystery as the years have gone on, what they're thinking and what they're looking for. It's kind of crazy. So I don't know, but maybe another topic for another day. And then the last one, I don't know if you got me this, Mark, but it's a USA PSA or a USA 10 grading, and it's a Pedro Martinez 1992 Donruss rated rookie. So USA
I got
10.
that in some tonnage from Ohio as part of the
that's right.
That grading company was. I'm like, I'll send that to Craig.
Yeah.
I think those are always 10s. You could probably wad that up and it'd be a 10. Whatever that company is, was that like mint grading? Everything's I've never seen a mint grading that's not a 10.
Or jam in the jam grading too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jim.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think he does that in his garage, from what I read. So
crazy.
you know, but those are my. I was just thinking about it, and I thought, why not grab some cards that you haven't shown probably in a while, or just that mean something to you and have some kind of significance in what
Yeah,
in
those are
your collection.
great. Those are
Yeah.
awesome.
So, just nothing really super valuable or anything like that. I mean, there's a Greasy rookie. I love that car, but it's just, $50, $60 car in that condition. So those just are cars that mean something to me. And, especially a couple of them coming from you, I thought I should throw those in there too, because, you mean a lot to me.
Oh,
And
thank you. You mean a lot to me.
we were supposed to do a show yesterday, guys, and I got caught up doing some other stuff.
It's all good.
So, I felt bad, and I when I reached out to you last night, I figured you might be mad at me. So I'm
No, I
glad
was
we did.
sleeping, dude. I was on teacher time last night. I saw it this morning. That's when I got up. I sent you that message of that Hank Aaron card I won. I was like, oh, but whatever, man. I'm not mad. It's our show. We run when we run, do when we do. Shit, I
Right.
disappeared for a couple months on when I lost my mind there a year ago or whatever.
Well, I guess that's true. I
You
guess
know what
that's
I mean?
true.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no grudge, no hard feelings on the
Maybe
day.
I deserve a little
Whatever, man.
grace.
I went off the deep end. So it's all good, man. I went fucking crazy. So
Yeah. Yeah. So when are you so you're back school? All right. We're just going to go off on a tangent. So you're back school next month? What, early next month?
yeah, I'm
Or?
supposed to go back for preseason, which I'm like Josh Allen, man. I sit out the preseason
Yeah.
sometimes, but when you're the big dog, you can do that stuff. But
Right.
actually,
Right.
there's some things going on that I got to take care of. So, it goes, I think August 1st, and then I'm not going back until the 5th, and then kids in the building on the 11th. Yeah, the
Yeah.
11th. The 11th of August, kids in the building. I'm not going back till the 5th or the 6th, but it starts August 1st. But I'm gonna be on the sidelines in my baseball cap and the clipboard for a few days. So
Yeah. Well, they seem to
preseason.
narrow that breakdown every year, don't they?
It gets smaller and smaller, and even
What's
if
the
I
what's
didn't
the
have to,
logic behind that?
who the hell knows? Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess here, I mean, last year was long because we lost a lot of days to hurricanes. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bitch because look, teacher life is good. Look at me right here, right? I sit by the pool. I got all the time. So I very rarely take vacation days because I have all the holidays off. We got winter break, we got spring break, I got the summer off for a couple months. But last year we lost a lot of days to hurricanes. So
Gotcha. So they
I'm
make that
not
up in the summer
complaining.
then.
I'm not
Yeah.
complaining. Mr. Ford is, it's cool. I understand we get
Right.
a lot of time off and stuff, but it just seemed like it was compressed. So I think maybe they're starting a little earlier just because you're going to lose some time.
Yeah.
Since I've been doing this now, we've lost, every year we lose some time to hurricanes.
Right.
So,
Right. Well,
you
so all right. So you had some sales, and you
oh, yeah,
also have been doing some business on the low grade site. Man, I love that site. That's a
it
good
is a
site.
good site. I love it.
Yeah. So you said you had some interesting characters in your sales, or what's going on? 20 packages. That's a lot for you, man.
Yeah, it was between the two. I had one in the modern side with all that, a lot of the basketball tonnage and stuff that I got way back when I got that Jordan. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get rid of some of the stuff. So I just did a 50-cent sale, and I don't care what it was. I had baseball, football, basketball, a shiny this, insert that, this, that. I had everything from 94 to freaking
Now.
2018. I didn't
Yeah.
care. And there were some cards in there that it was so funny because when you have a sale like that, you'll see people are tentative if they don't know you really, because I don't really lurk in that side. Like the other on the vintage side, but it's gone, right? It's like
Yeah.
people know us, but on that side, they don't really know me, so they're tentative.
Right. Right.
And then I can see where they'd go back and they had to look things up. We got to do our comps. Oh my God, this is a 50-cent card. I mean, dude, I had like three, $4, $5 cards in there. I didn't care. I want to get rid of it. And again, this is where I'm at with my process, and it applies to vintage. A, what I paid for it.
Right.
That mountain of tonnage has long since been paid for. And then like B, I don't care if eBay, we talked about this last show, says it's $10. If ain't nobody paying $10 for it, then it's worth what you can get for it.
Right,
So,
exactly.
and a lot of it's been sales survivors. Look, man, and I sold that whole big box of 400 cards for $20 the other day. Three times survive. A lot of those cards have been in three sales. I don't care if they're $1, a $2 card, whatever. Take the whole box for a nickel a piece. Just get rid of
Right.
them. Move them
Well,
on.
yeah, I mean, if it's cycled through 3 times, it's time to just
Yeah.
move them.
Who
Yeah, I
cares?
agree.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's what. So I love doing that. And I had a patch a couple weeks ago. I had one of those and I couldn't get rid of it. And then that was where my claim sale came in. I said, "All right, you fools, you don't want to pay me $20 for this box of 400 cards." Because I didn't really want to do a claim sale because
Yeah.
it's just a lot of work. Again, I had like 20 buyers and it takes time and my head spins and then I get crazy. That's all right then. Okay. I'm going to claim sell this box. And I sold everything. So
Yeah.
I sold almost everything in the sale. And what didn't sell, I lumped up and down the road it went. So,
Right.
okay. You just
Sometimes
get
it
it
pays
done.
off, man.
Right. I
Sometimes it
didn't
pays
feel
off.
like it, but it got me a Hank Aaron. I got me a nice friggin' 61 post Hank Aaron out of the deal. So, it's all good.
Nice. So did you have any weird buyers, or you want to keep it
Yeah, a
positive?
weird
Or?
buyer in the modern. So it's weird. It was like reverse of the InstaPay, Insta invoice, which I don't. I just let it lay out. I know when my sale's done. I say I'm done. You want your total? DM me. If not, I'll hit you tomorrow or whatever. And
Right.
nothing's more annoying than I had one of them guys. I bought some bills cards, and as soon as you hit claim, they're sending you, you owe me X, Y, and Z. It's like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
almost like they're waiting on your payment to pay their electric bill.
Yeah, maybe or buy their
Yeah.
meth or whatever the frig they're doing. And so this guy is like, you got he goes, did anybody pay in the sale? I'm like, it's still going, bro. And he's like, because there's some cards that other people claim that I'd like to have. So, I was hoping they didn't pay so I could claim them. I'm like, well, dude, this sale's still going. It just ended. Like, give me
Right.
some time. And
Right.
then, oh, okay, okay, okay. So then I sent him, here, let me get you your total. And this was like, he's crossed the 24-hour threshold. He hasn't paid me. So he was all in a hurry to get, and this was, I don't know, $12, $15 worth of cards, a 50-cent sale. So it was quite a pile of cards, like 30 cards, but it was only $15. I'm like, man, you hit me up that people pay yet because you want to steal their cards, but then you ain't paid me. So
Right.
WTF is going on? What's that logic,
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Was there a response, or did they?
Nah, I don't care. Whatever. I just said, pay me when you pay me. It is what it
Right.
is. I'm not going to sweat it again. It's like $15, and
Yeah.
you know me. I don't really care.
Right.
Actually,
Right.
I had some no pays on the vintage, and I just let it fly because they're just like, you buy a card and you claim one card, whatever. I mean,
Right. I've had a few like that over the years where I just like, you'll tag them like 5 or 6 more times to add to their one card because they don't want to pay for the one
So I'm not
card.
holding cards because I just do it
Yeah.
in free. In the summertime, you see, I've been banging sales left and right, and but
Right.
once school starts, I'm not doing it. So I'm not holding cards because I'm not running sales every week, and
Right.
I only
Right.
hold cards for a few people. So, and
Yeah.
then on the buy the low grade, yeah, I've been got some stuff out of Ohio. There would be the problem with the auctions is when you don't win. This doesn't happen often, but when you bid on like 50 cards, you only win like six or seven of them. It's kind of a,
Yeah.
it's kind of a bad day, and that doesn't
Right.
usually happen.
Well,
It
in the
happened the
shipping.
last week. It happened, so I had like some
Oh
real
man.
oddity cards, and I was able to off them wrestling and like some airplane cards or something. And
Right.
goodbye, adios, see you later. So I got
Yeah.
back what it paid for them.
I have a similar story to what you just said about. So there was a lot in the low grade site, and somebody claimed it, and then like 3 hours later, I put backup claim, right? Because I did that not
Hmm?
very often, but it was a really nice lot. So like 3 hours later, I get a or no, like 3 minutes later, I get a message, "Hey, they're yours if you want them." And I'm like, "Well, did the other guy pay you?"
Gave him three
And he's like,
hours,
"Well,
right?
yeah." I gave him like an hour and a half. I'm done waiting.
Wow.
So what do I do? So I said, if he doesn't pay you in the next 5 or 6 hours, let me know. So,
Yeah.
and he didn't. So I bought him, but I felt kind of bad. I was like, man, give the dude, in our page, they've got 24 hours to respond. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
It's crazy.
people
Yeah.
are just weird. Different
Yeah.
people.
You got money,
Yeah.
man.
So
You got,
I don't know.
for me,
Right.
it's enjoyable because, I don't care about the money.
Well,
So
I'll tell you about
I
this.
have a
I'll
good
tell you
time
this,
with it.
Mark. Yeah, you do have a good time with it, and I have a good time with it too. And as I'm not as not about the money as you are. We've talked about that too, but I'm also not as about the money as a lot of people are.
No, you're
And
not.
some of these guys, man, they're just ruthless, and
Yeah.
that bothers me sometimes too. There's a lot of drama in this hobby, and I don't really want to get into it today, but
Mhm.
you know, just everybody, if you're watching, it doesn't always have to be cutthroat. And I think that's what I've noticed a lot more, especially as sales seem to have dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
It's don't be so cutthroat. You don't have to try to just eviscerate everybody that you deal with. So
Yeah.
that's my
And,
rant for today.
it doesn't
You
hurt
know,
to, like with my model, I'm running even. I'm a nonprofit
yeah,
organization when it comes to cards, right?
a
So I'm a nonprofit.
501c3, right?
Yeah, I'm a nonprofit. So something in, something out. And again, we've talked about this before. It works good. Dr. Ford supports me. She's cool with it. I'm not spending a shit ton of money. And I try to keep it tight behind, so it works. So, but
Right.
that doesn't work for everybody. That's fine. And
Yeah.
but every time I have a card like this guy, he had 5 cards in the cell. I'm gonna fill the team bag. I'm not gonna, jack the guy for 5. I'm not stuffing 5 cards in an envelope, but he's got to pay $5 for shipping. So I go through my box and I saw
Yeah.
what he liked. He was like obviously a Giant fan, so I put in a bunch of Giants and this and that, and it doesn't hurt me. I mean, like again, that stuff's paid for, and then it means something to them, and they're
Well,
like,
and it is to me, it is interesting to see people like you who do that kind of stuff swimming around in a sea with people like some of the people that I see in the admin role, and it's really honestly not trying to toot your horn, Mark, but it's really
oh,
that's very refreshing because almost
thank
no
you.
one does that, and it's I I don't do that. I don't try to rip people off,
No,
but
no, your cards
and
are
I don't
fairly
vouch.
priced, and
Yeah,
you get
I try to be fair in my
yeah.
pricing, but I don't send a lot of extra cards. Maybe I should. I've got a lot of extra
Yeah,
cards.
but
I
you're
probably
you're you're hitting them at like, you're hitting them at like 50%, man. $7 cards you're selling for like $4. So I mean, they're getting the
right,
deal. Like me, I'm like I'm the fast food McDonald's guy here, with my chicken nuggets.
right, right,
So, I
right.
throw in an extra, package of like when you go to McDonald's and you want an extra sweet and sour sauce, it's like,
I was
you
just gonna
think
say an
you're
extra sauce.
right. It's like you'd thought that you'd ask for their firstborn. Oh, I can't give you a sweet now, or they want to charge you a quarter. It's like, come on, man, just give me a friggin' sweet and sour sauce. So,
Right.
if they were to just do that, so you get your 6-piece chicken nugget with your cheeseburger, whatever. If they just gave you one, how much happier would you be? You know?
Yeah, you'd be really happy, and you'd probably subconsciously want to go back to McDonald's even more.
Yeah,
Because
that's it.
yeah, and back in the day, they wouldn't have even thought to charge you a quarter for a sauce.
Oh,
You
no,
know,
God
what the
no.
hell happened to corporate America, man?
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
I know
know.
what them burgers my
It's
dad used to
it's
sell
bullshit.
McDonald's, before everything went centralized, when he was back in the beginning days of when their franchises were exploding and they were using their burgers were they were using like I don't know, ridiculously small, like 10 to 1s are called, like 10 to a pound. So you're
Yeah.
talking like
Wow.
1.6 or 7 ounce burger, So they're using
Yeah.
like 10 to 1s, and that's how they would be able to sell them back then. They were like 35 cents a piece. Well, that
Right.
burger got any bigger, but the price has. I don't care
Yeah.
about inflation. You can't get it. I know what's a cheeseburger now, like 220 something or whatever, just plain
Yeah.
cheeseburger.
It's well, a single cheeseburger. I mean, I haven't been to McDonald's in a long time, but a single cheeseburger, I imagine, is at least $1.50.
Yeah, it's
A
nuts.
double. I know you can get a double because I did get one of those. You can get a double for like $3, which doesn't really seem like a deal.
Yeah, so we
You know.
equated cards to McDonald's. See, we're covering it all. It's all relative, man. It's all relative. It's a good show.
Well, all right. So you have any sales going on this weekend, man?
No, I'm gonna pipe it down a little bit. I'm bidding on some heavy tonnage in my local area on Goodwill. I really don't care. I'll let people know. Because everybody and their brother does. The one I was bidding on yesterday, I went all the way up to 165 and I bailed out. And,
Woo!
yeah, I swung hard. I'm like, but the rule of
Whoa!
thumb, here's a lesson, people. back the cards. So if you're bidding on something in an auction, whether it be on eBay or Goodwill or this, that, the other thing, only bid what you see. Don't bid on potential. Don't bid no. There's some things where you just know what you know, and I've pushed a little bit because
Like
I
that box.
but
You
only
took,
by bid what you see. So what I saw was $165, and I told Shasta, I said, I think this is going to go for 200. Do I really want to push it? Because now it was 25 pounds, and it was a lot of autographs, and there was uh authentic. There's a couple binders of autographs, and it was. I knew in my
very
heart
nice.
that the money was there, but also it could have been a bunch of common autos. Now you're selling them for a dollar or two, and
Yeah.
you're stuck trying to grind. I don't want to grind. If I pay $200 for something, I don't want to grind. I want to,
Right.
put it out there and get my money back. So, and it went for $200, 201, $200 in the dollar, $201. So, I had that played out, but only bid what you see. So you see a mountain of tonnage, look at it and be like, okay, all right, I don't really see a lot. $20, right? If
Right.
you see something, a few good rookies or something, adjust accordingly, but don't be throwing $50, $60 at like 30, 40 pounds of cards and expect to get gold. I mean, that's just not going to
Right.
happen.
Right.
But I'm
Well,
bidding
at
on
least with
75 pounds out of Tampa. So,
at least with those boxes you're getting from that store,
yeah.
you can look at some of them because you're there in person. But yeah, you're
Oh, the
right.
last
Like
I
you,
lumped them all up. Yeah, that's that
yeah,
box I just sold with the Jordan pin for $20.
yeah,
Those are all cards from those boxes. So I had the people, tell you I got was it 4 row? I got two 4 row boxes for $8, mystery box.
yeah.
And it was fun. I had a good time going through the cards with Shasta for a couple hours and actually
Did you
ended
sell
up
that Astros team card?
no, I still have it.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's I actually figured that would sell, but yeah, I mean the stuff you were showing me out of those mystery boxes, I mean 3 or 4 cards was paying for
Yeah,
the
I
whole
ended
box.
that one. Yeah, I decided to hang on to that. Just I'll throw it in
Yeah,
a regular claim sale and get my money
right.
on it that way. So,
Yeah,
I deleted that one, but that was cool. Yeah, that page. So what I mean, all those cards I sold for $20 were in that box. So
nice.
I got,
Well, it's
I had to pay seven because it was a 400 count box. So I paid almost seven for ship. I bought it for eight. I made $5. You might say, well, what's the return? But I had a great time with my kid for 2 or 3 hours, which is priceless.
right.
So I made $5. So I had a good time,
Oh, so now you didn't go to the store and buy those? You got
Yeah, I
those
got them
shipped
at the
to you?
store. Yeah, they're eight
Okay, okay,
dollars. They
gotcha.
were one was five and the other one was four, and she just charged me $8 for the two.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then we
That's cool.
pawed through them for a couple hours and had 400 cards that were, all Hall of Famers and stars, and I sold them for $20 shipped.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and getting back to what you're saying about bidding on what you see, like that picture, you sent me a picture of 1990 Donruss, and you
Mhm.
can just tell by the red. You remember that picture? The Red
Yeah,
Death, the box of
yeah.
Red Death.
Red Death,
Be
man.
careful when you're bidding on that. Like you said, just buy, bid on what you can see. I do that when I'm bidding on something too. If it's a lot, I'll just be like, okay, well, anything else that you don't see that comes and it's worth it is gravy, but you need to base it on what you think you can
Yeah,
get. So
exactly. And
yeah,
that's where the
so
buyer's remorse and people get in trouble, and then your significant other is going to get pissed off because you just threw $50 at a bunch of crap. And then you're
yeah.
probably not going to throw it in the bin like I do. You're just going to let it sit around. So now your crap's sitting around, and you just wasted all the money.
Not to mention the time and the mental
Yeah,
anguish, right?
yeah, mental English, man, crazy.
But I don't have much else this week, man. I just,
All right.
I'm just grinding away. I'm going to do a sale tonight, probably tomorrow and Sunday, man. I've got a lot of stuff to
Yeah,
sell.
you
So
said that was man. I tell you, those are crazy times. That's
yeah,
trying to get in on one of your cells. I thought I hit that errand card, but the guy must have got me by a microsecond. I don't know how that works. It showed I was first, and then it flip flopped. So they must have really.
yeah. I don't know either, and I'm going to go back in and double check it just to make
No,
sure.
it's that don't matter. It's all.
Well, but I know that card means something to you. So
No, I'll keep
I
that.
think I might actually have another one somewhere.
Yeah,
That
no
76
worries. All
hostess.
good. It's all good. But
Yeah.
your cells, holy cow, people, check out Greg's cells. It's Fast and Furious. It's wild, man.
Yeah, it does get kind of frenzied. It makes me wonder if I should raise my prices, but I just don't have that in me.
Yeah,
I
but I don't
can't
know how
do it.
you, man, you got to spend hours shipping that stuff. My God.
I've got it down to a process, so I've already got all
Uh,
that sorted,
yeah,
ready to go. So
right.
it is what it is. But when I first started doing these sales, I'd be shipping for 2 weeks, and I'd be like, sorry, it's taking me so long, and but it's a methodical process, and it keeps me busy, just not being being retired,
Right.
semi-retired, whatever you want to call me. It keeps me busy and keeps me mentally engaged with stuff, so it's nice. So,
Well, I go. I
but
started buyer one, and then work my way. And then I'll go to buyer two. Then I go to buyer three. Then I go see a new name. Buyer four. Buyer five. That's how I do it. So,
really,
yeah.
oh my gosh, that doesn't drive you crazy having to scroll back and up and down in the
My,
sales?
yeah, but my sales are. I'm not hitting I'm not selling the amount of cards that you are. Mine are pretty
Right.
tight, so it doesn't usually make me too nuts.
Imagine how Begley must feel.
Oh my God, I don't know how he keeps his stuff
Good
together.
God.
Thousands and thousands of listings. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's crazy.
Well, I
Absolutely.
think he might have some help because I don't
He
know that I
had
could
to.
do
I
it
mean, the amount
myself.
of cards that guy is selling. That was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
sell. I gave up after a while, but I got what I wanted out of it. So
Yeah. Yeah. You did get some good stuff, and I'm glad you were able to snag some of those 64s, man.
soon to be
Because
found on low grade vintage, people.
right, right. So, but other than that, Mark, I mean, I think I'm good for the week. We
All
can
right.
we can reconvene mid next week and talk about some more stuff and whatever,
Absolutely.
whatever your heart desires, man.
Yeah, because by
It's
then I'll
always
know
fun.
if I won that 175 pounds of tonnage I'm bidding on. So.
Heck yeah.
I think I
Heck yeah.
will because the shipping is astronomical. So, you talking $35, $40 shipping, and I'm right down the road. So
You,
I feel pretty confident.
yeah. So they won't charge you the shipping if you tell them you're going to
No,
come get it.
no, I still
That's cool.
charge a handling fee, which is a mystery to me, but whatever. At
Yeah.
least you're not
Right.
paying the shipping.
Well, I eagerly await the results. Let me
I'm
know.
gonna win. Oh, I'm gonna go hard on that. So I'm gonna win that stuff because I want
Yeah.
it.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
All right,
everybody, y'all have a
everybody.
good week.
Yep.
Stay
Have a
stay
good
cool.
weekend. See you next week. As always, thank you and take care.
Thanks, guys.